Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You listening to Pod Chef. It's a podcast about Top Chef.
Now, one of the things I love the best about this new intro music is that it does name me as the host first.
So do I have to play the entire intro now? Because usually I fade it out so they don't hear
No,
that.
it's fine. People can go back and listen to the first episode
Okay.
with Breton and hear the full intro theme song. But it is great that I'm said first because I am the host. I'm the host.
Of what?
Of Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast. Welcome to episode number 3 of the current season in Portland. I'm here joined with my co-host Reeves. What's up?
Hey man, I want to let you know that if I had thought about it when I came up with my intro song, which we played for like half of this show, I would have named you as the host, but it was all done off the top of my head. So I could only think of a couple of things like what the title of the show was and that we're friends.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
it.
That's fine. I don't blame you for those shortcomings, not mentioning me by name as the host. During that season, you were technically the host. So
God.
that
It was so
works for
stressful.
you. So
It was terrible.
but who it will never work for because he'll never be hosting again. He is the host of the co-host. Brian, say what up.
I don't know if that's true because I got pretty decent host scores when Tom gave us all of our report cards. Mine wasn't terrible, so I don't think I'll never be host again.
Do you have a time machine, Brian?
Did someone tell you I had a time machine?
I'm just asking because you're like living in the past.
Okay,
Who
you're just like talking
spoiled
like
it?
I have a time machine, like someone told you I have one because.
Well,
Like,
I was just
don't.
asking because you're living in the past. That was so long ago that you got that great review from Tom, and you're like living that up as if it's like you peaked in high school and you keep bringing it up. Like, we get it. You won the big game.
Jamal, let me tell you this: if I had a time machine, I would change so many things about myself. Like it, like you would
So,
know if I had a time
Hold on a
machine.
second. Hold on a
because there'd
second.
be-
So, I want the listeners to understand this. This motherfucker has a time machine. And he said, what I'm going to do with it is just stuff to affect my life.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna change the world.
What would you
Nah.
like me to do? Hold on.
What time would you like to go back to? When I was in second grade, go back to.
I would love for you to go back to 1659 and when the white people are in the room thinking about, hey, maybe we need some workers for this new land. Maybe we should go get people from Africa. I want you to be there and be like, nah, we don't need them. We don't need them. We can leave them alone. Let's just build it. If we're gonna make it all about us, let's just build it ourselves.
Listen, I would love to do that. I would love to do that.
There's a
But
butt coming. There it is.
here is the truth. What's getting me in that room? I ain't shit now. I'm not going to be shit back then. I'm not going to get in that room. You know
You're
what
a white guy.
You would just make it up. You would just
You
make
just
it
show
up.
them.
They would
You
just
could
let me
show
walk
them
in
your
there.
phone. Just be like,
Yeah,
look at this
you-
technology, and they'd be like,
look at
oh,
this
it's
technology.
a wizard. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and they'd
you'd be
let
a
you in and
warlock.
be like,
I don't know.
you'd be like, and then like on your way out, you can be like, hey, in a couple of years, you guys are gonna like want to burn women because you think they're witches. Don't do that. And then like say like we're all gonna have this technology one day. Like you could be doing so much with this technology to go back into the past, and you're like, I'm just gonna change my life.
You don't think they would burn me? I would show up and I would be the fattest person Garrett they'd ever seen in there. I'd be taller than them. I'd be really fat.
Yeah, you'd be a
and they'd
giant.
be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, which
And then
means
I would-
you'd be intimidating, and they'd listen to you.
Yeah.
Mm.
But you know what? I think also you would just need to kill them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who's this talking?
Oh.
I'm sorry. We haven't. Oh no. Okay.
It was a good
Cat's out of the
try.
bag. We have a special guest who's very eager to be on the show.
I didn't know
Ladies
when I
and
was supposed to come
gentlemen-
in.
No, it's fine. I'm so sorry. I interrupted you. We were taking too long introducing our guest, and so now let's do that now. Everyone, please welcome to the show. Eva Lewis is here. What's up, Eva?
Excellent.
Oh, she has a soundboard.
Yeah, I do. Thanks so much for having me here. But Brian, I think you make a point, but I think you would have to just kill people.
Yeah, I think that's
I
what
think
you have to do
that's
is
what you
suck
need
it
to
up
do.
and
Yeah,
start
you really-
murdering. Just as soon as you get out of the time machine, just kill
Yep.
the first person you see. Just
Well,
to
I
kind of
didn't
send
say
a
all that.
message.
So it's like going to jail. So it's like going
Well-
to jail.
well,
No, but
here's
you
the
have a
thing.
time machine. You can
Yeah.
beam out.
Yeah,
Kill,
you can
get
beam
out.
out. You can kill, beam into like on a year later. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can keep beaming all around the place. But here's another thing you need to take into note because I just finished watching a bunch of serial killer episodes on Amazon.
Mm.
There's a very hard like you probably get away with a lot of killing back then.
Oh, back then I could kill any.
Yeah,
no
you
one
could
knew
kill
who
a
I
bunch
was.
of people and people would not know how to solve those.
Especially because I
murders, so.
wasn't from that time. I would have
Exactly.
no birth certificate. I'd have
Exactly. People
Yeah.
would be like, well, there is this new giant in town, but wasn't him.
nothing. Yeah, that wouldn't be suspicious at all. There's this 320-pound man walking around who.
Do you guys think it might be the giant?
No.
Nah.
He has this rectangle that plays. He calls them YouTube videos.
Yeah, he keeps like showing it, like swiping with his finger. I don't know how it works.
He keeps asking where the pizza at.
Yeah, and I'm like, pizza sounds Italian or Chinese, whichever one you want to fall into.
I think this
Oh,
is
look, I would do
good.
my best.
We're falling into becoming a serial killer podcast, which is
Yep.
basically 90% of the podcasts out there. So I think that's good.
I think it's the only genre that has more podcasts than Top Chef Rewatch podcasts are serial
Yeah.
killer ones.
Yeah,
But if you search for Top Chef, we are in the top 4 on
We're there.
Apple Podcasts right now.
Very cool.
and that's what we like to be. Top
And that's
4.
what Tom told us we had to be. Tom's not happy with that though. Eva,
Yeah.
2 quick things.
Mhm.
Tom Colicchio, who's the bald, sorry Tom, just to give you who he is, he's the bald head judge. He's the head
Yes.
judge of Top Chef.
We're gonna get a letter now.
He's the reason he made us do this podcast. He reached
He
out to all
made
of us,
you?
said
Okay.
do this podcast, so we
All
do
right.
it.
Nice.
So we always try to see what he wants us to do. We try to live up to his standards. And a second
Yeah.
thing, how does it feel to be the first woman to ever be on Pod Chef?
Oh my god. Oh my god. You only
This
do
is our
better.
third season.
Yes.
This is our third season.
And this is like your 80th episode. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah,
Oh
not
wowzers.
good.
Well,
We've been
you
very
know,
aware that we don't have one, but we haven't
Well,
been able
does
to
that
do
count
it.
for something? That we are
to be-
aware of what we're
hold on.
failing at, but not
be f-
fixing it until now?
To be fair, though, Eva, we didn't start having guests really until now. So
what?
Yeah,
You
so
had
it's
guests
not our
for-
fault.
No, that's not
we
true.
only
You
had
guests.
one guest. We only had one guest previously, Harold Dieterle,
He won
in
Top
episode in
Chef.
season
Hold
1,
up, no,
episode
what
7.
about Carl Tart? Carl was a
Yeah, that's
guest.
this season.
So season 2, you didn't have any guests?
No.
No.
Oh.
There was we had a preacher come by. We had a white
Oh
preacher
yeah,
come by.
we did have a big
Yeah.
black preacher from the south
was
come
white.
by and do a
He
phone
was
call. We
white.
also
Think we
talked to Miguel.
established- Yeah.
Yeah, we also talked to Miguel. But
Okay.
other than that, we didn't have any big guests like we're getting now. I mean, we're getting heavy
Excellent.
hitters.
Well,
We
I
got-
want that on my tombstone. First female guest
on Pod Chef,
Mm.
Pod Chef. Official
that's expensive.
podcast of
Top
the
Chef.
Top Chef. Yeah.
That's an expensive tombstone. I'm
It
just gonna
is. I'll
say,
have
by the
money.
letter. By the
Yeah.
letter, that is expensive.
What's money? Well, I can't take it with me.
Yeah.
Well, that's
My
not what the
money.
Egyptians believed. They
Exactly.
they were so into their money. They said, "Hey, don't give this back to the community. Put it in this sarcophagus with me."
Okay, take it to the afterlife. But here's the one thing, people, and also for the ladies out there, you
Please.
gotta. I text.
Do we have female listeners?
Oh,
Yeah,
well, not
we
anymore.
got
We
one
cut
or
off
two.
the one woman that's
Yeah,
on
one
here.
or two
We're
out
not going to
there.
listen.
Yeah, The
Please,
two,
Eva,
two,
continue.
2 out of 3 of you all are married, so your wife is listening. Right? So that's
Oh, I have a wife too, Eva.
Oh,
Yeah, that's canon.
Oh, okay, 3 of
Yeah,
you
that's
all.
canon for the podcast. I also have a wife, so
What?
it's
Yeah.
not
Oh,
just
my
those
Lord.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this
But-
is really
yeah.
good, Eva, that you don't really know the show that much because I think we have a lot of new listeners and they don't know
Mhm.
kind of the backstory of everything.
No.
The new listeners are mainly lawyers for Bravo TV.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time for this all gets shut down.
No,
Mhm.
well, there are a lot of things. I used to be an attorney, so I know
Mhm.
they probably are listening and they're chuckling and they're,
Well, we did put parody in the title
Somewhere.
Oh.
officially. So
yeah, does that say
under the
us?
Fair
I don't-
Use Act, I feel like we're pretty safe, right, Eva?
no, but they probably don't want to give you a lot of smoke, a lot of juice.
Okay.
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 That's
On the
fine.
off
Okay.
chance that we do get some kind of letter or they show up at our house with handcuffs and stuff, would you defend us in the court of law?
I would, but I'm not
For free?
licensed, and no,
You don't. You're not
Okay.
licensed in
I'm not.
DC.
No, it's probably lapsed at this point. It's been a while. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you
I got
something
some
else?
recommendations for you though. I get some recs.
That's
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
And they would do it for free.
So,
Nope.
so you're not licensed to be a lawyer in DC currently, but are you? Did you get your hands license with the? Did you register them as firearms?
Because they're deadly
Firearms.
weapons. Pop, 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 pop.
Yep.
Pop, pop, pop,
I
pop,
got
pop,
I
that.
mean,
pop.
Brian, look at the gun show.
Exactly. I have been doing my Peloton strength classes on a daily
Nice.
basis.
Good,
so,
good, good. I think we all have been. I think
Yep.
we all have been.
Yep.
We all got Pelotons.
I got a
we all
Peloton.
WAPs.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, do you? Oh, we'll have to be friends.
Yes, send us a request.
Wow,
I haven't
sounds-
actually used mine at all. My wife just uses it. I don't have the shoes yet. I've been looking for the shoes. They don't have it in my size.
Okay.
So whenever they come up with
What are you talking about? Just go up one size.
n- okay, so I have very small feet. Like they don't
Okay.
make them like toddler size, which is basically the size of my feet. They don't make those
No.
yet. So
I hear excuses. I hear
he
excuses.
tips over.
I fall over because my feet are so small, my head's so big.
People ask him if he spent much of his adult life binding his feet, but no, they just are
Yeah.
that small.
They just
Which is
are that
like-
way.
Wow.
Pretty insulting for Reeves to hear.
It hurts a little bit, but I think it's an evolution
Yeah.
thing. I think that's the way we're
Yeah.
going as humans.
Yeah.
Smaller feet.
Mhm.
Speaking of feet freaks, let's
Oh,
talk
no.
about the food that we had. Let's talk about the food that we made. Chefs, I present to you last night. I pulled a Brian. I ordered pizza from
Hell
Wise Guy
yeah.
Pizza, and I had a pepperoni and cheese pizza. And
From
where?
I ordered pizza because I thought I was going to get hit hard with the vaccine,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I was fine.
Flex.
Mhm.
Subtly
Hold on, how was
dropping
pizza
that you
going to
got your
help with
second.
the vaccine? Like, how was the pizza?
Because I didn't want to have to cook something. I wanted to have
Oh.
something that's already here, like
Gotcha.
ready to go. I didn't want to like get up, cook, chop. Nah. No, you don't
And
go
people-
next. Reeve does. You're the
Well,
co-host.
well,
of co-host.
you didn't explain what we're doing.
Okay, Eva, let me explain this to you because Brian thinks that guests can't figure this out. What we're doing is we're going around, and what you're doing is simply saying, "Chefs, I present to you," and then you're telling us what you made
Yeah.
last night for dinner, as if you're presenting it to Tom and the other judges
Nice.
on Top Chef. Okay.
Did you
Cool.
get that?
Got it.
No, like from when he just started talking and saying his food was that clear what we were doing?
A little bit, but also the pre-show. Also, you all talked about this.
Okay, all right.
So I was
just want to
listening
make
then.
sure that we
Mhm.
got our guests good.
But
to
here's the thing:
go.
the new listeners who are listening, they know
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mhm.
the new
Yes.
lawyers who are listening. do
Bravo,
need help.
lawyer number 50.
Yeah. I hope
Because,
they're new
listen,
lawyers. They're not experienced.
I'm
They
not trying to
fumble their
flex
way
on
through the
everybody,
case.
but our numbers have gotten really like big for us lately. We like serious, not to be like a guy who talks
No.
about numbers, like,
Brag.
but we used to get like maybe 50 downloads total per episode, and it definitely has to do because the new season of Top Chef started. But we're getting like our Carl Tart episode got over 200 downloads.
That's right. Flex, rocket ship, diamond, hold,
To the
hold,
moon.
hold. Yep, to the moon.
To the moon.
That's at least 50 lawyers like passing it back and forth. And like, do we have action here?
Mhm.
do we have cause here?
They're like, it's not worth it. These
Yeah,
guys
it's not
They're
worth
just
it.
passing it
Yeah.
off to an assistant. It's like, you
Mhm.
listen to this. I don't have time for
They're
this.
they're lucky to be getting the guests that they are getting now. So,
Yes.
this is unsustainable.
Yeah.
All right, chefs, I prepared for you a spicy white bean stew with a broccolini. This is another one of my Allison Roman recipes. She has so many good ones.
She
This
really
is-
does.
She has a lot of good ones. I like this one a lot. It's got some navy beans, some harissa, which I did not make by hand. I used the
Mm.
jar.
Oh.
So you didn't. Yeah. So you had time.
Yes. And then I did look up how you make harissa, and I told everyone this, but it is actually surprisingly easy, even though I made fun of Brian in the last episode, thinking that it was crazy that anyone would do it by hand. So it has that, some chicken broth, red pepper flakes, all that kind of stuff. It was good.
Oh la la, nice.
Mhm.
Am I being made to go last? It's
No, you
not
can go
really.
now. You can go now.
Chef, last night I prepared for you a delicious coconut chickpea curry. It's one of the 3 things that my wife and I make. We make chickpea curry, we make chili, and we make veggie burgers. And that's pretty. Sometimes we'll do stuffed shells. But last night we did the coconut chickpea curry. We're talking chickpeas, coconut milk. What else is in that bad boy? Onion, garlic, ginger, all that stuff is fresh. Cumin. We add a little jalapeno in there, kick it up a little bit. Ask for a pinch of cayenne. We'll do a bunch of cayenne. We like it a little spicy.
Just drop it in there.
Nice.
No
nice.
regrets.
And then, of course, you do some nice jasmine rice in the Instant Pot. So,
I have a question.
mhm.
You and your wife cooked this?
Actually, it was just me. It was the plan was I was really tired. I got really tired, and I said, "Here's what we'll do.
Mhm.
I'll do the chopping, and then I'm gonna go fuck off and go lay down." And then she started washing the dishes, so I had to cook because I couldn't be like, "You wash the dishes and cook." So I cooked the whole thing.
If only this was the good days.
Brian, you were being a good husband, so thank you.
I try, and it's
That's
the least
good.
that I can do.
No.
Because there's so many bad things that I do. So when I do a good thing, I need a gold star.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets a reward afterwards.
Yeah, and it's
You're
Careful.
still married.
Yeah, careful.
Yeah, yes, the
Yeah,
reward is
there
that I'm still married.
Okay, still married. That's
There we
nice.
go.
I thought it was that she puts that peanut butter in that little container that you like to get it out of. It's a nice little treat.
She doesn't give me peanut butter anymore because she says I talk too much when I have it in my mouth. 'Cause I'm always like, wow, wow. I'm like Mr. Ed in that way, and she's like, shut up.
You're also making too much noise while she's trying to watch The Bachelorette.
But yeah, I am just smacking my lips the whole time while she's watching The
Oh
Bachelorette.
man. All right, don't I go?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Don't you go. Please go. I'm sorry that we're taking too much time. This is the second time we've been taking too much of Eva's time. Go ahead, Eva.
There you go. So, chefs, I prepared for you thin spaghetti with marinara sauce and broccoli. And I put I always put in turmeric. I use it every day on at least one dish, and then like Old Bay hot sauce.
Wow. So I have a question. Why do you use turmeric every day?
Because it's good for inflammatory. And so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna use it. It doesn't taste so bad.
But you do admit it tastes like dirt a little bit.
No, it's not
It
the
does.
best
It's a kind
flavor.
of it's a dirt spice, and you know it.
And is that offensive?
I don't care. It's a dirt spice, literally from the dirt, and it does taste earthy.
I don't know if they call it a dirt. They call it a root spice, right?
I'm calling it a dirt spice.
I think my favorite thing about
Send your letters to
turmeric is
me.
that it stains everything.
Brian,
It does. It does.
Yes. Yeah. But it's worth it. It is worth it. I've been reading all the books on brain health, and turmeric is an easy thing to put into your diet to help out.
So I tossed potatoes in turmeric with my hands. What a mistake that was, because my fingertips had jaundice for like a good 3 days.
Yeah.
It'll do that.
Yeah.
It stains it up.
Yeah.
But
it's good
yeah,
for
I
your
like
body,
it.
though. Good for
Turmeric's
your
good.
body.
I like
All
it.
right, I'm gonna start adding turmeric to my curries when I make curry chicken.
Oh, it's gotta
or
go in your
curry
curry
potatoes.
for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start adding
For sure.
it, I guess.
No, do it. Do it. It's good for your body.
It is good. A couple years ago, when a medical thing happened for me, I started looking up like anti-inflammatory things, and like turmeric was a big one on there. So I tried to have like turmeric tea one time, and it didn't go well. And then I stopped, and now I don't care anymore. But I know that it's good for you.
Turmeric tea is hard. I've tried that too. It's kind of like
That's
drinking
hardcore.
a soup when you think you are going to have some tea. But it is good for you. You can find other ways to get turmeric.
There you go. There you go. And then I also had potato salad and chips. Tortilla chips.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
but mixed together. I want to make sure you all got that image. It was together.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Wow.
I didn't.
So you put some
that.
crunch
I
in
was-
your potato
Yeah, I
salad.
was wild. I was wild last night. I'd never done that before. Yeah.
You could call that twice potato salad.
Ooh la la. Yeah.
And welcome
And
to
then-
Pod Chef.
Yeah,
Hey.
then you are, and then this is the transition. You're layering textures at that point.
Yes,
Yeah.
flavors.
Yes,
That's
yep.
what cooking's all
Mhm.
about.
There you
We
go.
quick. Okay, one time I had potato salad that had horseradish in it, and it was so good. Have you guys ever had that?
Mm.
I can't do potato salad because I can't do mayonnaise.
Mm.
Oh.
Man, I love mayonnaise.
And
What's wrong with you?
horseradish
What's
is
wrong
the
with
horseradish. Is that the white radish or is that the green radish? I can't. Which
It's-
one's
It's
horseradish?
the one
wild.
that tastes like burning in your nose
Yeah.
when you eat
Okay,
it.
I don't
Yes.
think I've had horseradish before.
Mm.
Have you had horsey sauce from Arby's?
No, I have not. I don't eat
No,
fast food. You know that.
You ever
And
had
now
the
I
horsey
do.
sauce?
Yeah. And the new listeners know. Yeah.
Jamal
Well,
does
okay,
eat fast
you-
food, but he goes there and he causes a big stink, so he's not allowed back. He says, "Give me a double cheeseburger with nothing on it," and they give him there's like buns on it. And he said, "I said nothing," and he sends it back 100 times, and then and then he's banned from the
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got a picture of him up
I
there.
do this
Yeah.
crazy thing, which is ask for a very easy order to do, and then it apparently everyone becomes brain dead as soon as I order it, and I can't get what I want, and so I just say, "Forget it, I'll starve to death."
There you go. You're all right. You're all right.
All right, let's take a
Yeah.
break and let's pay some bills, and then we'll be right back with Pod Chef. Okay.
All right.
And we're back. Welcome back from the break. Oh, those ads were amazing, weren't they?
Yeah.
One day that'll make sense. There will be ads there. I have faith.
Mm.
Put it out into the world. That it's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah, I've got a vision board, and I envision some big paydays.
You all
What
can
else
do
is
it.
on it?
What?
You can
What else
do
is
it.
on your vision board? Oh, yes.
What else is
also-
on my
also you
vision
can do it.
board?
Yeah.
On my vision board, also in the bottom right hand corner, is the scary white face character from the new series on Amazon called Them. So that's also on the bottom of
Is
my
that
vision
just
board.
white people? From what I see in
No.
the trailer, it's just white people.
No. And now this is a segue to get people to go watch that, which I do have ads. I do have ads running on the show Them, so go watch them. But speaking of them, let's talk about Pan African Portland.
Hey. Yes.
And I can do that joke. See, this is why I'm hosting. This is episode 3, season 18, Portland. This is called Pan African Portland. I mean, we know what's about to happen here. We're going to get into some West African food. You feel me?
Mhm.
It's going to be spicy. Some of the white contestants are going to notice and note very verbally, "Ooh, that's spicy." We get it.
You
We
gotta,
get
you
it.
gotta tell people when it's spicy. You gotta let
Yeah.
people know that it's
Yeah.
spicy.
Let them
I
know
kinda
I,
feel
don't
like-
eat this a lot. This is
Yeah.
different for me, and it's uncomfortable. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Yeah.
It
So
confuses and scares me.
that's what this episode is. The chefs are gonna start visiting some Pan African food, and it's gonna be an inspiration later on in the episode. But
Can I
let's
just-
talk.
Hold on, really
What?
quick. I just thought of this since we're talking about spice and the way this episode is laid out.
Ooh,
It's a
this will be
quick
good. Here we
story.
go.
No, this is actually really good. So the way this episode is laid out is that they go to Pan African cuisine restaurants for the elimination challenge. But first, they have a Talenti commercial and they do dessert ice cream things. This makes me think of one time a friend told me that his church had a chili competition. And the way that you do this is that if the chili is too spicy, what you do first is you eat a bunch of ice cream. Then you eat the chili. And then when you go to the bathroom, you go, "Come on, ice cream."
And let's keep that in. That's good. We'll keep that in. That was worth it.
It was worth
love
it.
that.
I loved it. I liked it too.
Um,
I like it too.
yeah.
My favorite part is that he kind of quickly summarized the episode ahead of you doing that.
Yes, he did. So these kind of sniping tactics are why he's the host of the co-host.
Well, hey, maybe
So-
maybe there needs to be a change. You all finally brought a woman on the podcast, and maybe Brian needs to be the host.
Mhm.
Well, I was the one who invited you, so I feel like that still just defaults back to me.
True.
So I'm.
But
so
I
jealous.
do want the audience to know that I had to text you and said, "Why haven't I been on yet?"
Oh, that absolutely happened.
That did happen.
I wouldn't have thought to say Eva should be on this podcast.
Nope.
She's got time.
Yeah.
You
So
wouldn't have
Eva let
thought
me
that?
know she has time and wants to be on the podcast. And I said, "Hey, we'd love to have you." And here she is. See how
Yeah.
easy that is?
It is. So, ladies, just text Jamal. I'll just text me and I'll
Yeah,
give you his
ladies, text me, the most welcoming person. Text me, see how that goes. See how that goes for you. We'll just
Yeah,
put
ladies,
everyone
look-
on who text.
Look, ladies, if you want to be on the podcast, just tell us.
me.
We
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah,
if you
we
want
don't
to be on
know.
the podcast or
Yeah.
not.
Look, ladies, we're all married, guys. You got to tell us. We can't read your minds.
Oh my God. Oh, well, ladies, let's see how this episode goes, and then you'll make a decision.
Yes, yeah, that is good.
I would,
That's
at
actually
this
very
point,
smart.
I wouldn't be texting us. Wait to the end of it and see how you feel about it. And don't listen to any of our past episodes either.
Yeah. So the quick fire. The chefs were given 45 minutes to create layered desserts. Oh, wait, before we get into this, Eva, have you ever watched Top Chef before?
No.
Okay.
Good.
What
That
did you
keeps
think
the
of
pattern.
this episode that you watched this time? Just overall, what did you think of it?
Overall, and I should say this: I've seen clips of Top Chef or like the other
Okay.
reality shows or whatever, so I got the the gist of what was happening. But this was an enjoyable a show, particularly because I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Benin. So some of the foods that they were eating, I've had, and so and I'm not a big foodie person, but like it was nice to have some kind of baseline of like I've tasted some of those flavors before. So, but all in
Okay.
all, it was enjoyable. It wasn't boring.
Good.
And
That's what I
this
want to
almost
hear.
seems intentional that we had Eva on for this episode. So
It
good
does.
for Eva for texting us to be on this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
it
for
is.
Eva
Thank
for
you.
being friends with me and knowing me so well that she felt comfortable texting me to come be
Yeah.
on the podcast, knowing I'd say yes.
Yeah, because here's the thing: we're on a team called Nix, and we haven't done anything in years. And so I'm like, why are these guys doing this podcast, and I haven't been invited? So I was just like, let me reach out. So
And here we are.
yep, there
We're
we are.
reunited, and it feels so digital. So the chefs were given 45 minutes in the quickfire to create layered desserts in a Talenti Gelato sponsored challenge. The desserts were required to have at least 3 layers, and the winner, of
Yep.
course, received immunity from the elimination, but also $10,000
Ooh,
USD, which is
baby.
really like $5,000 after taxes are taken out.
That's true.
We like
Still
talking about
$5,000.
taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still $5,000. This Eva is one of my favorite things that Top Chef does. It has commercials. This is a Talenti commercial, and I love
Yep.
it so much.
Yeah.
I love when Top Chef does this.
Here's
My
a
wife
question.
saw the Talenti, and she was like, "Ooh, I love Talenti."
Yeah. So that's what do people see that and they're like, oh, you're right. I am out of gelato. I should get some Talenti. Did that happen to you, Eva, where you were like, yeah, maybe I'll get some Talenti, I guess?
For sure. And I didn't even know they had layers because I used to get their sea salt caramel
Mm.
all the
that's a good
time.
one.
Yeah,
That's a
and it's
good
been
one.
a while since I've had their stuff, but it is good.
And
Yeah.
you rushed out to the store and got some layered
Well,
Talenti, right?
Yeah.
Well, she's very Talenti.
It worked on me. Yeah,
And these commercials work. And
they were.
how could it not? That ice cream looked like it
Oh my gosh.
had a
Ugh.
bunch of nuts on the bottom and then a little bit of ice cream. The layers
Yeah.
looked
They
weird.
are.
Yeah.
And it
But I
stayed
bet
right
it
on
tastes
top of
good.
each other too. Like
It
yeah.
looked like it had something in between them. Like it
Yeah.
plastic
That you got to
separation.
pull out when you
It's-
open the box.
Yes, and then it all just mushes together.
And then it all
you
just.
go, oh. And you go, oh.
Mhm.
Okay, well, this is not as appealing as it looked when I grabbed it. Now it just looks like a slop bucket.
Yeah. So the commercials work. I have 15 BMWs. I only drink San Pellegrino. Thank you, Top Chef.
Yeah. Oh, you know what was interesting because I watched it on my laptop, and so there were local commercials like Seat Pleasant Police Department, which is a city in Prince George's County, which is in Maryland. So, but they never said like apply for the police department, which is a bunch of police officers doing like nice things.
Oh, the
Yeah.
ad campaign's firing up, huh?
Exactly.
The old ad.
The PR
Old-
train is in full effect. I got to try to do something
Trying to use the
because
big old media arm and persuade some opinions, huh?
Exactly.
look, I know you've seen some terrible stuff about cops recently in the news, but here's a
But we
local
do
cop.
good stuff.
Yeah, so it was like a
Something
cop.
good.
He
Yeah.
was giving a bottle of water to like a person who was sitting down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
well,
is pretty nice.
We've learned from Georgia that you aren't allowed to give people water anymore.
Yeah.
So
to
that
jail.
cop was actually breaking the law. The cop
Yeah,
needs to go to jail.
Yeah, he's actually infringing people's rights to a free and fair election
Yeah.
Mhm.
It had layers.
by getting water.
Yeah.
So enough talk about Harissa. So when the chefs start running around like cockroaches, getting stuff to prepare, I noticed that my girl Sarah, who's on my fantasy team for Top Chef, you'll find out about this later, Eva.
Nice.
She immediately, this is what I love about Sarah, why she's going to win. She immediately says, "I'm making puff pastry in 45 minutes."
That's
In a
very
3-layer dessert, she says it very confidently. She doesn't like say, "Oh, I guess I'll make puff pastry." She's
That's
like,
true.
"I'm making puff pastry," and I'm like, "This is why I love Sarah," and she's gonna win the
Yeah.
entire competition because she's not afraid to go balls to the wall.
She
Yeah,
is
she got that-
great.
yeah.
I also like that, we've seen we rewatched Top Chef. We watched like the first few seasons. And the pattern in those seasons is people talk about how they are not pastry chefs. They don't know how to make anything sweet.
Yeah.
They don't like it. It confuses them. They think it's
Can't do
dumb.
it.
These people from this season, they all are cool with it. They get it. They
Yeah.
know how to use it. They're adults. They like sweet things. And I found that refreshing.
This was, another great quick fire. As far as Sarah goes, she's fine.
She's better than fine. She's the top point leader.
I know, but I'm a little
top.
over the like, oh shucks, I'm so bad. This is gonna be any good. Like
I love it. She's fooling
killing
all
it.
the other contestants.
smart.
She's fooling all of them. I love it.
I think she's playing them. I think she's playing them.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
smart.
by the way,
Maybe.
noticing from the last episode, she doesn't have a forearm tattoo. She has a full arm sleeve. So she now
So
has
it's a little different.
negated.
It's a
She's
little different.
negated the effects of
Yeah.
having a forearm tattoo,
Mm.
and that
Mhm.
disqualifying you from winning Top Chef.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
true.
Nitrogen oxide is being busted out by Avishar and
Avishar
someone
busted
else.
out. There's a weird moment when Maria, who is my favorite person on the show for this season so
Oh,
far,
boy.
I love her.
Oh boy,
She can't. What?
she says something very problematic later on in the episode. We'll get to.
No, she can do no wrong.
she can.
She is trying to make arroz con leche or something like that, like the
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
rice milk thing,
Mhm.
and she can't get it cold enough to like deep fry it like she wanted to. But no one shows her how to use the colding machine thing. Someone could have been like, "Hey, use this. This will work," and that's not nice.
Hey Brian, if you fell off a ship and I threw you a life preserver, would I then have to tell you how to put that on?
If you want me to live, if we're all friends, yes, you're my
Hey,
friend.
you got to save yourself sometimes.
They
You
can
got to
only
be a part of your
be
rescue.
So nice. This is already known as the nicest season, but it only can
Yeah.
go so far, Brian. It's
Yeah,
still a
and
competition.
you know what, Brian? I hadn't thought about that either. But one thought did come to my mind is that they were very nice. It's like, "Hey, what are you doing, Barbara? What are you doing, Joe?" Oh, and then they would taste each other's food and say, "Oh, that was
Mhm,
good," or maybe
mhm.
add a little bit more, whatever stuff.
Mhm.
And maybe there wasn't time for her to use the machine.
She also may not have been confident in it. She herself may be like,
Yeah.
I see them using it. Because doesn't she make a comment about them using it? And I feel like if she wanted to really freeze her stuff down, she'd put them like, give me some of that nitrogen oxide.
Yeah,
I just think it would have been nice to someone to have been like, "Hey, here's how you do this," and it makes things really cold. Because you don't want to win Top Chef because the person who you beat didn't have time to do what they wanted. You want to win Top Chef
Because someone else
with
helped you do
everyone
it.
getting to do what yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
wanna win Top
savage.
Chef
I want to win
because
Top
someone
Chef
helped you.
either way. I want to win whichever way makes me the winner.
it's
I don't care.
100K. That's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's 250K.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my
Oh yeah.
gosh.
They upped the
Yeah.
ante here in the
Yeah.
old bubble. So now it's like 175 after taxes.
Still good.
We do get a funny little like British Bake Off type of joke from Avishar when he's like explaining. He's like, "Oh, your balls look better than mine." He's like, "Oh, did did I really say that? Like it's this weird like little moment.
That was the last episode, wasn't it?
He did. So
Maybe the
it
balls, but
happens
he
in
did
both
something
episodes.
this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was
Goodness,
another balls
Avishar.
joke. He did it in the previous episode. It is like he does seem to like innuendo a lot. All we need is Noel like in the background with his head and his hair and his stupid shirts, kind of laughing and then like tapping on the back and be like, "All right, I'll see you later."
Yeah. But he was
I'm not
very
sure if I like
earnest.
you.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he was very earnest when he won. Like it really like it you knew that it hit him and he really
Mhm.
appreciated
Wait, who won? Who won? Who you
it.
talking about?
Abishar.
Oh, we're getting to that now. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just go right to the
We can
winning.
jump.
Yeah, let's
We're
jump to that.
38
Yeah,
minutes.
I'm
We
bringing
are
Yeah.
there.
you all the moving along. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Wow. And now is wait.
Eva, no, Eva
And now is
isn't needed.
Eva the host?
Is it-
Yeah,
yeah.
And this is kind of what happens. Maybe this is why we didn't want ladies on, because they do it better.
There you go.
And they-
Yeah.
Everyone text
Speed the
Jamal.
podcast up.
Yeah. I don't have time, but you go. Yeah.
Thank God, Jamal, that Eva doesn't have time to take your job.
yeah. Thank you.
The first time we have a woman on, she does it better than
Yeah.
We're afraid.
So-
We're insecure. We're insecure.
So that is right. Abishar wins with Buckeye Bonbon and with brown butter and liquid graham cracker.
Liquid graham cracker.
Can I
Yeah,
just say this
pretty
though? I
cool.
want to play a clip from Chris when he's presenting his dish because he gets a real awkward
Yes.
pause.
Yes.
Let's
What
listen
was
to
this?
What I'm calling the Oregon Trail hazelnut cake with a smoked chanterelle pastry cream,
Cool.
a Pinot Noir and blueberry puree, and candied hazelnuts.
It's really interesting.
Thank you very much.
What was that?
I don't know. It was
Yeah.
so weird.
It was weird. Yeah.
It was like almost like he was like, "Are you guys? Did you guys pause? Are you robots? What happened?"
Yeah, it was
I'm
like he was
presenting my food.
waiting, like there should have been a reaction, like maybe Padma. Now, sometimes this can happen in the creative process where there's a pause because you feel like a joke or something like that, something creative should come through, and then it just doesn't happen for the
Yeah.
performer. You just don't have any of those creative juices going. So then there's just a pause,
Yep.
and you have to
Yeah.
move on and not address it at all. And
Yeah.
maybe that's what happened.
And that's what happened here.
Yeah.
They do not go
Yeah.
back and address it,
Yep.
even though Chris is seen crying when he goes back to the other contestants, and they're like, "It's okay, Chris. We liked it." We
Is
liked
it? Was it Chanterelle? He said, and then there was like a long pause after he said it. He was like something Chanterelle, and there was just like,
You know what I think? I think there was I think Padma yelled cut and said, "It's Chantrell." And then they had to go back into that awkward moment.
Yeah. And he like probably,
It's Chantrell.
Mm.
you know, similar to
Take it from the top.
yeah, she likes to correct people, and then like you know, like with Miguel, maybe he tried to do it again, he couldn't say it the right way, and it was kind of hard and awkward. So they're like, just put a pause in here.
yeah, it's better than the awkwardness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Abishar, so Carrie Baird, who also has a full sleeve tattoo now. That's new. I don't know if she had that when she was competing her season, but she's very easily like, oh, this is good. I like this, which is all the judges are kind of doing that now, which is fun. But when Padma's eating Avishar's Buckeye Bonbon thing, her face is like, this is hard to eat.
Exactly. Yes, that is exactly what her face said. Yep,
Okay,
yep.
I can explain this.
Oh,
Have you guys seen Ratatouille?
yeah.
I saw the musical.
You saw the musical?
I saw the DVD rip.
Okay, those all work. So there's a part in Ratatouille where the real mean judge or writer, whatever the hell he is, he
Food critic.
eats it. Food critic, that's it. He eats the food for the first time by a rat, and it hits him so hard that he goes back in time and remembers being a dumb child and liking food. And then it pops back, and then he reacts and is like, oh, yum, 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 yum. And I think that's what was happening to Padma.
Oh.
Yeah. She was
Mm.
lost in her thoughts for a second there.
Yeah.
So she went back to
On
when
the
she
back
was
end.
a dumb child. Okay,
Yes.
yep.
She was going back
Mm.
to
Yep.
that point.
I believe it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Cause she was gushing over it when they told him he was the winner.
Yeah, there was
Yes.
this long her just this like beleaguered. Is beleaguered a word?
Mhm.
This beleaguered,
Yeah.
is it the right word?
No idea.
Beleaguered look, yes.
Yeah.
She was working hard to chew.
Yeah.
And what I thought was going to happen is that earlier on, Avishar's like, when you use liquid nitrogen, you could like make it too cold and blow out someone's taste buds. So I thought we were like getting called back to that, where she was going to be like, oh, I can't taste now because you blew out my taste buds. But instead, she was like, this is good. I love liquid graham cracker now.
Mhm.
Well, Avishar wins. Oh,
One other thing really quickly. This happens twice to my best friend Maria in this, is that they say that her food is too big, and I hate that so much. Nothing
Yeah.
makes me feel less attached to Top Chef than when they say like, this is too much food. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like that's your complaint. Like here, they're like, what is all
Yeah.
this? And then
Yeah.
later she gives a bowl, and the bowl is tiny. The tiny bowl is full, and Tom's like, oh, this is so much food. And it's like, shut up. Let
And
it needs to be one bite.
And maybe this is where I'm a food snob, because when I first saw the dish, I first thought, I was like, oh, that's a lot of dessert.
You know what? That's what I want. The other day there's this bakery near me in Williamsburg called like Tomo something. It's like a Japanese bakery. And I went in there and I was like, here we go. I'm gonna get something really good. And I got in there and I saw the prices, and they were a lot.
Yep.
But at that point I was too committed to not get anything from there. Because if I walked out, I looked like a poor person. So I order a piece of yuzu cheesecake,
Mhm.
and it was $7.50.
For one
And then I
slice.
tipped. Oh, the slice was so small too.
And he tipped.
And I tipped 15%, so it became $9.
Yeah.
And it was 3 bites of cheesecake. And that's not what I like. I want a lot of stuff for my money. So Maria, thank you for continuing the tradition of giving people enough food. We're hungry. And the yuzu cheesecake wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
And it cost me $9. And
Yeah.
it was little.
Oh
Yeah.
man. I like
All
to
right,
imagine
well,
you
Brian, I'm right
seeing
there
those
with
prices.
you, because the
Thank
thing is
you.
they didn't critique her actual food. They just said it was
No.
too big. Next, they
Get
didn't
out.
say like
No.
if it tasted good or not.
Too big.
I'm right there with you.
Too big.
Mm.
There's too much pizza on my plate. Shut up.
Well, that is a thing. There can be too much pizza on the plate.
No, it hangs
Anything over
That's
two
good.
slices. Anything over 2 slices is too much pizza on one plate.
Get a bigger plate. That's what
So-
I say.
So Avishar wins. And let's move on to the elimination challenge. The chefs get taken on a tour by the two African American past Top Chef
Who look
contestants.
amazing. Gregory
Who-
and Kwame are wearing the coolest clothes
Yeah.
when they are brought out.
Oh, so Brian, I just want to help you out here. That's just normal clothes for us.
Whoa.
They're not-
I have yet-
they're
I
not
have yet to
trying
see
to
you-
look
I have
cool.
Yet to see
That's
you in a
just-
Yeah,
fancy,
no-
sparkly shirt like
Yeah,
Kwame
you haven't
was
been on that
wearing.
kind of out.
Well, hold on. That's because you didn't know me in my Miss Keen t-shirt days when I was a
Ooh.
young kid with glittery shirts and stuff. You
Ooh la
didn't. You
la.
just didn't know me then. So,
Can I-
anyways,
Can you
Go.
share a picture so I can put it on the Instagram?
I can absolutely not. So the chefs went around to Portland restaurants that specialized in food from the African diaspora, including Jamaican, Guyanese, Haitian, and West African cuisine, and they were trying different foods out. And
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people had different takes as they were trying the food. Some people, you know, mentioned that they'd never been to any of these black-owned restaurants in Portland, even though they live in Portland.
Pescuzzi
Yeah.
very quickly made it about him when he was like,
Yep.
I can't believe I haven't been here. And it's like, shut up.
And then he goes, which is the face that Dawn makes. She's like, shut up. Of course you haven't been here. And then he's like, I'm a local. I should have been here.
No, you're
But,
too busy
some
eating-
other
eating
people who
mayonnaise
aren't-
sandwiches.
Yes. Some other people who aren't from Portland had some different things that they were thinking about as they were eating West African food. Take a listen.
But I'm really inspired by the food. The bacalao reminds me of a crab salad that they make in Alabama. And then the yasso is so delicious, and the mustard reminded me of Germany. Seemed like a perfect kind of sauce for a schnitzel. So I'm torn between the two sides of me, like the southern side of me and the German side of me.
Yeah, and for a while there, black people were torn between those two sides. The southern side and the German side. Hey, how about you don't bring that up while we're eating West African food? Last thing I want to hear about is Alabama and Germany, okay?
Yes.
Well, we're eating slave food. Did we not talk about that? I'm
It's-
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's not just
Brian
slave.
Reeves, Eva,
I'm
anything?
gonna let you.
Anything?
You guys wanna handle this?
This was good. I like that there was that edited scene where she was like asking for just like she's like, can I just get like, you know, like a side of mashed potatoes or something? Something like that.
She said
Yeah.
something to cut the spice. Can I get like a bowl of berries or something?
Some raisins.
I felt for Brittany in this episode.
I knew you were going to say that.
being
I knew
being
it.
the only like purely white person this season, and everyone's just like, this is the food of my people, this food makes me think of my home. And
Yeah.
I was like, what would I do in this situation? Is like make sloppy joes and be like, this is the food of my people, sloppy joes. And she gets called out for it. In the end, they were just like, what is this? She's like, I don't know who I am. I'm just a white person that lives in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, it sucks to be me and Brittany. Like, it's just like,
Yeah, so it was really about
No.
you guys this episode.
I
Yeah,
really made it
it is
about
that-
me.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
episode
Really
was
made it
about
me.
Brittany and some of the other chefs really finding themselves. I think,
Oh.
I mean, if we're skipping ahead to a little
We
bit
don't
on
have
Judge
to.
Sybil,
I just
she did also mention, she was like, I didn't know myself. I mean, we did this whole episode and like half the other judges got to do their 23andMe, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm from culinarily.
we
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing a disservice not asking Eva what because since she is like familiar with some of these foods, like what her thoughts are on these foods, and so I would like to ask her that.
Okay,
Before
Brian,
we
shut
do-
up. You're not the host. Let me do that. Eva, what are your thoughts on some of these cuisines from West African cuisine, some of the places they went to? And have you
Yeah.
got any experience in your background ever of eating any West African or African diaspora?
Yeah, I mean, like all those-
Diaspora, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, definitely all those food. I mean, they went to like I've had Haitian food. I've had Guyanese food. I've never had that before. That I don't think I've ever been to a restaurant, but definitely like the fufu. Because what's is it
Mhm.
Kiki, right? Who's
Yes.
Yeah,
that is,
Kiki.
is
Mhm.
Congolese. I do
Yes.
feel bad for her because like she she was getting emotional. She was crying and she was like, "This is
Yeah.
really good." And I understand like because they elevated
Mhm.
Pan African to the
Mhm.
level. The only thing is like fufu, it is labor intensive and they only have like an hour and a half or something like that. But when fufu's done really well, it is really tasty and it's just a way to like sop up the sauce that she had
Yep.
there. So that
I've had
I
it
definitely
before.
had. Yeah, that is good. I definitely recommend folks try that out. And it's like a nice little gateway because all it does is like you just take that and you get the sauce. And so everyone likes
Yeah.
sauce and you just use that
Mhm.
as a conduit to your mouth. So that was good, and then I guess the fufu wasn't good, but that's something that I directly knew that I've had and enjoyed before. And then the guy who's the and here's the thing, I having never watched the episode, the tall black gentleman, right? Who I knew
Chris.
Chris, yeah, I knew he was like I was about to say classically trained. I knew he was classically trained in like cooking. Only because like he was saying different words than all the other chefs.
Yeah.
Like they sound a little bit more bougie, and so like I think his bougie, and in particular because I guess he's Haitian,
hmm
but
Yeah, I
his
believe
was
so.
one of the worst ones, and so like because he was in the bottom three of
Yeah.
everyone, I did feel bad for him, but only a little bit because it's just like you were doing too much, which is what the judges said. Yeah, but that's.
But I also
my
think
take.
that's a good take. He also mentioned that he grew up eating that food, but stopped for a long time
Yeah,
eating it and cooking it. And if you don't use it, you lose it.
that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
He said he was French trained basically, and so they didn't
Yeah.
cook
Yeah.
any of that kind of food, and he just hadn't cooked it in years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah.
It was it seemed like he had a tough go of it. Kiki had a tough go of it. They really did not like Kiki's
That
fufu,
was a
which, like,
bummer
she-
too, right?
She knew
She
that it
knew
was
it.
bad.
Yeah,
It felt like that
she knew
this
that,
episode was
yeah.
like about her too, like and like her story
Mhm.
was like so
I know.
powerful and like her background, and so you're like pulling for her, and then I was like, oh man, I
Yeah.
hope they don't send her home. That would be so rough.
So, can we talk about something else that happened as they were making their foods after they went and had the restaurant? They were actually making their foods. This is Brian's favorite contestant talking to Nelson, who's also black. Listen to what she says.
What are you doing, Nelson?
Peri peri braised chicken, large fava bean puree, and sweet plantains. Definitely Dominican flavors, but taking it back to the motherland.
Attaboy.
Don't ever say that.
Even in that,
Don't ever, never say boy. Don't call us boy. We don't like that.
she said "attaboy."
Yeah, but even that is like you're tiptoeing a line there.
You know what? I had to say, my back hunched a little bit, but then it came back down. I was like, oh,
Yeah, it came back down.
it came back down because I was like, well, like maybe that's what they say in like chef world, and in the context of it. But yeah,
I'm sure they say boy.
Well, chefs can do
I'm
whatever
sure.
they want.
Chefs can do whatever they want. You know, when they're cooking, they got to get the
It's
food
a hard job. It's a hard job.
It's a hard job.
We
They do whatever they want.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
that
man.
is. I guess that is a for me to be like that's fine, and then to have like both black people on this podcast right now go like, no, it's not. So then, no, it's not. That wasn't good.
Yeah.
No, I like I said,
What do I
it hunched up, but I was like, it was an attaboy, which is like that. I'm gonna give Jim an attaboy. I'm gonna give Sarah an attaboy.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Yeah. I know.
I got no take
So-
on it.
So just for everyone listening, that's Brian's favorite contestant this season.
She's Maria's great. Maria's
yeah,
great.
She is
great.
fun. That wasn't a
Great.
good. I will admit that when I watched the show, I didn't notice that, but when you played the clip, I was like, "Oh, that's not good." So it's
know.
good that we point these things out. I do like Maria too. I think that she seems like she's a good personality. I feel like for the show, I feel like sometimes we have kind of like a lot of nice people on the show, and she seems nice too. But she seems like she's a bolder personality, so you kind of need that kind of mix to make it more interesting.
Yeah, there is before there in the prep work. I'm changing topics. This is in the prep work. When Tom is going around to people, going back to Kiki, he goes to Kiki and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she describes it, and he's like, "Oh, I want to dig in," and she has to like beat him away from her food. She's like, "No." She's like, "I want to go in there." She's like, "Stop it!
Mm-hmm.
Get away from
She's
me!"
like, wait till tomorrow. Yeah. Mhm.
And Tom was talking weird this whole episode. I don't know if it's because it's the Pan African episode, but he was like, "All right, y'all, I'll see y'all in a bit." And I was like, "Geez, I'll take the old boy, boy instead of that." But let's hear what the biggest comment was of the entire episode as Gabriel, which is Brian's other favorite contestant because he's on.
He's not my favorite
fantasy team.
contestant. He's
Yeah,
not my
you
favorite
like
contestant.
him.
I just think
He's
gonna go far.
your best contestant so far on your fantasy team. Let's
I think he's
let's
gonna
hear
go
how he did with the challenge to incorporate West African cooking into his own translation.
But these designer mashed potatoes, kind of over it.
Especially when I got the mouthful of goat cheese. My mouth was taken hostage for a second. Yeah.
I'll say what everyone's thinking. This dish is too white.
Well, just background for that clip. So that's Richard saying that, and he has at this point stood up from his table and gone. So there's like a little bit of a stand-up kind of open mic situation in the background. He grabs the mic and he kind of says to everyone, "This is the whitest dish I've ever seen." And it just pops
How
the
white
audience.
is it?
Yeah, they're fucking loving it. So he's crushing.
He says, this dish is so white it drives with both his hands on a 10 and 2 like this. He goes right back to Def Jam. He does those classic. He says this meal is so white that it just got done listening to Van Halen. Is that a white band? Should I have said something else? Led Zeppelin?
I think
That's a white band.
works, yeah.
Van Halen works. Yeah. Mhm.
This dish is
Anything
so white
else?
that
Anything
it,
else? Go ahead.
that it tried to make German food out of Pan African cuisine. I feel bad.
All right. So that was Gabriel. Let's just say he wasn't in the bottom, but he didn't finish in the top. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
which means people did worse than him. And speaking of people who did worse than him, let's listen to our girl Brittany,
Yeah.
who, I mean, she had trouble this entire episode with, the spices and who she is as a chef. Let's take a listen.
The main problem with your dish is that it was kind of mild.
I will admit that I am not super tolerant of really, really spicy food.
It didn't have to be spicy.
It had to be flavorful.
Flavors were monotone, and they were competing against each other. The yogurt was overpowering the red sauce.
It almost seems like you're not letting yourself cook.
That's 100% true.
What do you love about cooking? Tell us your story.
Maybe I'm here and I'm kind of learning that I don't know. I think that I make food that isn't of my life. I think that I cook a lot from my head, and I don't cook a lot from a place of my heart.
You got to get out of your head.
And Tom right there is like, you got to get out of your head, which is maybe the best advice he's ever given on Top Chef.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get out of your head.
Yeah.
Cooking happens in the kitchen, not in your head.
Yeah, no. It doesn't happen you sitting at home writing down your recipe, stuff like that. You got to execute it in the freaking kitchen with your heart.
With some heart.
Yes.
Yeah. Some heart.
Oh,
So let's just say Dawn finally wins a challenge. She finally finished her dishes. Eva, you may not know this, but in the last 2 episodes, Dawn didn't finish 2 of her dishes in each episode, or 1 of the dishes in each of the episodes. But she wins this time. She wins with curried goat, crispy roti with fondant potatoes, fancy potatoes, and green pepper sauce.
Yeah. They
love
it.
that
Even the
sauce.
business owners, the restaurant owners, love it too. Yeah.
The restaurant owners were like, "Yo, that a black person made this."
Here's what I wanted to talk about that my wife told me not to talk about on the podcast.
Yes.
And if it's bad, I'll cut
leave it in.
Is that so this episode was the Pan-African cuisine episode, right? The top 3 are the top 3 are Dawn, Jamie,
and Shota.
And Shota. Right. Who's winning this
Hey,
one?
this is what I was worried about, because I said,
"Oh yeah, going
oh
home."
boy, we've got a kind of a clash of cultures here, don't we?"
Yes, and then the bottom 3 are Kiki, Brittany,
and Chris,
and
Yeah.
and Chris.
Yeah,
who's
you can't
going
knock
home?
the
Well, you
black people
can't send
off.
home a black person on this episode.
Not on Pan African Day. No.
It seemed very obvious to me who was going home and who was staying.
I
Top and
understand
bottom
why Brian's wife did want him to talk about this, because now what Brian is saying is that the black episode was rigged.
Yeah,
And
affirmative action. You're
we're
talking about
playing by
affirmative
different
action.
rules,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why Brian's wife is like, "Don't bring this up. It'll be embarrassing."
No, but
and kind of rude.
exactly. But I'm glad you did bring it up though, because I was thinking that too when I saw the bottom 3 folks, and it was 2 out of the 3 were black. And the why zone, it was like Brittany's the one who's gonna go because she's white, but also she couldn't answer that one question about why do you like cooking?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You're
like,
on a cooking
the
show.
Cooking show,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. You're on the
I'm
cooking show.
I'm not saying that
Yeah.
Dawn didn't deserve to win and that Brittany didn't deserve to go home. It was just like that's who's going to win and that's who's going home. That's like, it's like they won it and Brittany deserved to go home. And it's just like,
I mean, I will
Yeah.
say,
it was just like,
I will say,
very obvious to
Shota
me.
and Jamie, after they announced Dawn the winner, they're like, "Of course."
Exactly. The plight of the black people always being second guessed.
I believe Shota was like BLM. He kept saying hashtag BLM.
Exactly. I know. I guess here's the thing. Another reason why your wife may have said don't do that is because, like, if it had been like we're talking about German cuisine, right? And it got down to two white folks and a black person, right? In that scenario, you may not have automatically say, well, the 2 white people definitely can't go home. And so that may be also like why it was more heightened when they have black people there in terms of why that popped out at you like that.
That's fair.
It was definitely some internal bias stuff going on there.
Brian,
But I do think if
would-
Brittany knew the answer to that question, Kiki was going home.
Yeah. If she could have answered any of Tom's questions, really.
Because I think Tom was like, you know how much I wanted to eat this back there, and now you served it, and it was terrible. Get it off my set.
Should have let me eat it back there.
I know.
I would have told you to change it.
Exactly, because the stew was good. The stew was good. Yeah, they
like the stew.
But yeah.
Brian, I really would have liked to have listened to the conversation with you and your wife, because I imagine it was over after the episode. You were going through this theory. She wasn't saying anything. And by the time you were done, she just kind of went, just don't say it on their podcast. Just keep that between us.
That's pretty much how it went.
So you should keep that in. Let's listen to Brittany get eliminated.
Brittany, please pack your knives and go.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I learned a lot.
Well, we'll see you at Last Chance Kitchen. It's not over yet. You can still get back into the competition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the pressure of Top Chef is intense. It was a little surprising to me how quickly my confidence took a hit.
You're going?
Yeah. I think that our culture tells us that we can only do experiences if we're supposed to win them. But I think that the experience is also something you can win at.
You didn't grow so much from this.
I may not have 100% shown exactly who I am in this competition. I do feel that it's enabled me to think deeper about who I am as a cook, what I want to cook. That's something I want to continue to explore.
So she says something interesting there. She says our culture tells us that we should only do experiences we think we're going to win, which is interesting for me. And Eva, you can tell me if you're the same way, because I often do experiences because it will be sticking it to the white man. And I can watch him writhe in pain as I succeed despite all of his. It's the only thing that keeps me. Going is showing you all. You can put any obstacle you want in front of me. I'm still gonna outpace your ass.
Right on, brother. Right on. Well, you know what? She does bring up a point. I've been reading a book about mindset, and like there's fixed mindset and growth mindset. And people who are fixed mindset believe that you are just born with talent, and there's no way of growing that talent and your abilities, right? People with growth mindset is like, I can learn it. I can do new strategies. I can reach out to people and like find out how to become better at whatever skill I'm trying to do. So the notion that you have fixed mindset people who, maybe she is, I don't know what she is, but there are people out there who like, if they know they're going to fail something, they just won't do it, right? They won't try. So in that respect, but here's the thing, like, you know, hopefully she grows from this, you know, hopefully. And she did go to Last Chance.
She won't be growing. She won't be growing in Last Chance Kitchen because she loses that. But hopefully after she gets out of this competition completely, hopefully she grows from it because she got her butt kicked by Sasha, who wins Last Chance Kitchen.
Yeah.
So clearly still not cooking her own food. But actually she did. She cooked, the cod chowder. So it was
that
actually
she makes
good,
for her husband. Yeah.
Yeah, that she made for her husband. So, yeah, but she still lost.
Yeah, she did. But at least she.
But I hope she learns from this.
She did. I think she did.
Yeah.
Don't cut spices with coconut. Crank.
Yeah. Because that's just gonna wash all the spices off.
Come on now, Brittany. Come on. Yeah.
She was like, I don't do spice, and they were like, yeah, well, you didn't make it taste good either.
Yeah, it needed salt.
Yeah, you still need salt and pepper.
Yeah,
at least
just basic stuff to bring out flavors.
That's 101. That's 101 stuff.
Yeah. She crushed one. She crushed one black peppercorn and was like, "Kiki, is this okay?"
And Pascuzzi was like, "No pepper. That's too spicy."
Yeah, he was like, "No pepper."
Yeah, Pascuzzi's like, pepper. Your dish is going to be overpowered now.
I was just saying, thank you for explaining that piece on experience. Because when Brittany was explaining winning in her goodbye speech, I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Exactly.
It confused me so much. I tried to map it out. I couldn't figure out, but what you said made sense.
Yes, because we're all that way, because you do want to win, right? Like, you
That's
go on that
true.
show and it's about winning, but it should be
Yeah.
also about the process to get to the ends, right? Yeah. And I guess that could be also a cop out, but they're just things that she needs to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's learning. Yeah.
She's got to grow.
Yeah.
She's got to grow. And it took coming on this show and losing in the week 3 to figure that stuff out.
There
And
you
that's
go.
okay.
That is okay.
That's okay.
Yes. There you go.
Failure should always lead to growth.
Well, you been reading the same book?
I have.
I'm a fixed mindset. I don't do things that I'm bad at. But I'm on my own journey. I do want to point out really quickly that Jamal gave me a hard time for what I said about who was going to win the challenge, and I'm reading Jamal's notes, and it mentions the same thing. So, like, please make me feel really.
Well, I
bad
was
about what
writing this
said.
like it was you, though. I was writing his notes like I was you, though.
That's right. He
So,
did say that.
That's why I put that there.
He did say that.
He said that, Brian.
And Eva, he doesn't want to say it, but I'll say it. I put down, and this is me writing like Brian. Dawn finally wins a challenge, the black challenge against 2 Asian cooks. Was this rigged?
That's
So
not what I would have. That's not what
I
would've
wrote this as if Brian was writing this.
My wife's gonna be so mad at me when she hears this episode.
I
She knows
know,
what
I know.
wasn't supposed to say.
No, yeah. And here's
And
the thing.
blame the fact that
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just gonna blame the fact that I drank a tall boy Zales Pale Ale, and that's why I
Yeah.
deliberately disobeyed my wife's orders.
Another free ad for Pale Ale. Hey, let's talk about this real fast. Let's go to week 3 totals for our fantasy league. The winner so far again is Reeves. He's got 27 and a half points.
Wow.
He's got all of his contestants still in the game.
Nice.
I'm in second place with 23 points. I've lost Roscoe, but I've got some high earners still. I mean, everyone on my team except for Chris Viad is a earner every week. Whereas Brian is in third place because he's the coast to the coast with 17 points, and he's lost Brittany, which he was planning on losing her anyways.
Yeah.
But the other contestants outside of Gabrielle are not looking good.
Who else is on my team? I can't see the.
You got Nelson, you got Byron, and you got Kiki.
Man, my team is kind of trash. My team is not doing good.
So I think Kiki is gonna go far, and I think Nelson is gonna have a challenge or two where he really like shines.
Okay.
So
okay.
I don't think your team is better than my team, and I don't think your team is better than Jamal's team, but you might do well with those two.
Well, I said I wanted to make a trade, and I want to trade for Maria because I do like Maria a lot.
Oh no, I'm not giving up Maria. Maria's great. I have a great team.
Okay.
My team is stacked.
What if I traded you 2 contestants
Oh.
for Maria?
Oh.
Two?
Oh my God.
Who are the 2?
Nelson
I
and
will
Byron.
change Maria for Kiki. Kiki's the only person I will trade for.
Straight up?
Yeah, straight up.
Ooh.
Wow.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I'll think
Well,
about it. I'll think about
Okay.
it.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, Eva,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Do you have anything you want to plug or discuss?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much, and I just want to say I'm really happy to be the first woman, and just like Kamala Harris, our vice president, may be the first, but I will not be the last. And so, so ladies, if you want to get on this podcast, please text Jamal. His number is 416.
I'll put it in the description of the episode.
Exactly. Yes.
Good.
But I also wanted to, I guess, just follow me on the IG as Eva R. Lewis. I also have a duo called White Privilege Black Power, which is also on IG at White Privilege Black Power with Greg Tyndale. And so this has been a load of fun, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
We thank you for coming on. Reeves, Brian, any last words?
Yeah. Eva, thanks for coming on. Been great. Everyone who is listening, if you got this far, I don't think people listen to our whole episodes for whatever reason. This is a good one. Please rate and review 5 stars, Apple Podcasts. Go on there and tell us what you had for dinner last night, and we'll read it on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks
Reeves,
so much
anything?
for coming. Yeah, and tweet at Tom. Tell him to listen to our podcast.
Let him know that we're doing a good job and that he should be proud of the hosts that he just do his official podcast.
I agree. All right, that's it for us for episode 3. For now, we're going to pack our knives and go.